monster. About 200 yards. Quite a few points, but heavy wide. And Kelly's gonna drill him right.
I hope so, yeah.
Nothing's easy in this country. That was a hike and a half, boy. After hearing that my good friend Kelly Currie from Carlisle, Saskatchewan had drawn a mule deer tag for the same zone that I had, plans were soon made to meet up in the muzzleloader season to swap a few old hunting stories and maybe, just maybe, find a good buck or two. As things turned out though, Kelly along with his brother Mike and Mike's son Jaden weren't able to make it down until the second week of the season, and even though I had already tagged out the week before, I wasn't about to miss another opportunity to hunt the same area, especially with an old friend like Kelly. As we got closer and closer to camp, it was obvious that the antelope population was doing well. We had passed herd after herd just hanging around the roads, making us all wish we had a couple of antelope tags in our pocket as well. I always look forward to watching these guys when I make it down south, and after a good hour or so, we were finally all teased enough and eventually made our way down the old familiar trail leading to our muley heaven. After a long drive that first afternoon, there's apparently no time for patience. It was time to spook some deer and relearn some old lessons. Okay, Mike spotted a buck. He's about outside his ear. He's got a kicker off the one side.
Definitely worth having a better look at for sure.
Now the buck Mike was after was bedded just over the ridge behind this fawn, and there was no question she had us pinned. Luckily though, she gradually moved off in the right direction, and we tiptoed closer. Oh, right there, right there. Now, in fairness to Mike, I was holding the camera about 10 yards behind him and to the left, not to mention a good 10 feet above him. And sometimes camera angles can give you a false impression of what really happened. But let's just ask Jaden and see what he thinks.
What's the deal, Jaden?
My dad's
dad's a bad shot.
What was that?
My dad's a bad shot.
Nice. There goes that Christmas present.
The Canadian Guide Life with Brad Fry is brought to you by Monarch Images, trail cameras that capture the action. Fort Muzzle Shell Outfitters, Montana's finest big game hunts. Buddy Ramp, the safe way to get loaded. Big Buck Magazine, Canada's #1 deer hunting publication. And by Fry's Canadian Outback Outfitters.
Just sitting here, seen 3 good bucks bed down here this morning, just in a draw below us. Let them sit all day. We're out spot and stalk this afternoon. Come back, hoping they come up one of these draws tonight and get a crack at them.
One's got a little bit better mass than the other, but both real nice bucks, and we'll take either one if we can get on them. But just a waiting game. Gotta wait for them to get up and make the first move.
With light fading fast, the heavier of the 2 bucks popped up out of nowhere, and there was no question that this was the same buck that Dave Archer and I had seen the week before, and he was almost in the exact same spot.
Finally found Buddy. Hopefully we can get in on him here and get a shot at him. Been looking for a few days for this guy.
Got about 40 minutes of light left. No wind at all. This ground's like walking on popcorn. So it's not gonna be a gimme, but we're gonna give him a go. He's a good deer. Hey, Callie. He's 150. You see it there?
Yeah, I got him here now.
He's just wait till he comes up to that skyline.
Alright.
And take a couple more steps. I think he's gonna come up there just by that bush there.
Looks like I can see his body through the grass here now. Looks like he's coming.
Okay.
Well, there's highs and there's lows. There's a low. Worked in on that bugger for about half an hour. He didn't go anywhere from when we first spotted him, and got in him good. There he's running on the horizon there. And yes, about 150 yard muzzleloader, never a gimme.
Oh,
Especially when it's a good deer.
I didn't have a chance.
The trophy hunter's life.
Oh my God.
We'll hike her back to the truck and probably sit around the old coffee table and hash this one out for a few hours, but we'll be back at her tomorrow last morning. So maybe we'll get on him again. He's doesn't look spooked at all, but that's just a depressed hunter stock, so we'll give her a go tomorrow.
Rock fine on this side.
It's time now for another blast from the past. Here's Brad with today's vintage video.
On this hunt, we found ourselves in the Stone Sheep Mountains of northern British Columbia, and I had the great fortune to be guiding Tim Geehan from Washington. Now, Tim is an honest, modest kind of guy who doesn't measure the success of a hunt with a tape measure, but rather by the quality of the overall experience. And on the second day out, either way you look at it, Tim's hunt was about to become a huge success.
Well, it looks like somebody else is out hunting. They got one and we didn't. Oh, 15 coyotes there. The stinker's right in our honey hole there. Oh well. Another one bites the dust.
After having our morning plans crushed by Mother Nature, we left the coyote kill behind and hit the hills, hoping to catch a few stragglers going back to bed. A mile or two later, and we did just that.
Just at the base of the hill. Once we pop up on this hill, we should be within 100 yards, I'm guessing. Hopefully we can spot him in there. Hopefully he's still there.
Just as Kelly was getting into position, the smaller of the two bucks decided to find another bed. And with it being our last afternoon to hunt, and still with no sign of the bigger buck, 45 minutes later, it was time to make something happen.
I'm just gonna walk around, and hopefully once they see me, they'll bust out of there, and maybe Kelly got a shot. It's worth a try.
Coming up the top, Kelly. He's right near the top. Did you see him come out of there, or was he with the does, or what?
Yeah, he kind of come out a little after them. Some of the does went straight out the side, and he actually went backwards to where I thought he was going to come, and then turned and came out and then kind of took a shortcut up the top of the hill, not on the path where all the others went out.
That's enough mule deer hunting for me for a while. Heading home. Got a few whitetail clients to take out here over the next few weeks, and then I'll be back down here with my father-in-law and see if we can put him on a good muley. But had enough of the desert life here for a while. Time to get up north and go after some whiteys.
A few weeks after Mike and Kelly's unproductive muzzleloader hunt, rifle season was about to open. So I phoned up Kelly to let him know I was going back down with my father-in-law, who had also drawn a tag, for a quick 3-day hunt. And there's absolutely no hesitation on the other end of the line when he said they'd meet us there. A few short days later, and we were again back in the Muley Hills.
What are you waiting for?
Something a little bigger than that one. Not much though.
Thing had at least a 12-inch spread.
The first day we covered lots of ground with little success. Then on the second evening, while Kelly and I were watching this decent buck, we noticed Mike and Blake on a distant ridge moving in for a stalk. And sure enough, a few seconds later, we heard a shot. So we threw on our packs and hurried over to join in on the fun.
There's a frame and a half, eh? You tell me a story. We heard you shoot.
Well, we seen him last night when we first got here, and made the wrong decision of taking my 50 cal out, and he stayed out at about 350 last night and couldn't get close enough for a shot. So we sat on the hill all day and glassed all day, and just before dark he decided to get up and go for a walk on the opposite side of the hill that we thought he was on. So we snuck over the hill and made a shot on him, and down he went.
He's got a bit of a frame on him, doesn't he?
He does. He's got some good length on him. A little skinny, but real happy with him.
Cool. Nice deer.
Thanks.
Real nice buck. So, how was the night, Blake?
Horrible. It was good for Mike.
What happened?
Well, in long story, all cameramen should have press record tattooed on their hand. When Mike whistled at me and told me that he'd found him, I went back and grabbed the camera and came running over, and we had her all in focus and everything, and I told him to go, and we did the follow-up after the shot just in time to hear the camera shut down. So probably one of the more sicker moments I've had in the last couple years, but great deer. Can't be happier for Mike. For all you guys that are would-be and wanna-be cameramans, don't forget to press record. It's a sick, sick feeling, trust me.
So, there we were in southern Saskatchewan, perhaps the mecca for huge Canadian mule deer. It was the peak of the rut, we had great weather, and we had one unused tag with Kelly's name on it. Now on the flip side, it was our last day, and with it brought a change in the wind direction, forcing us to hunt the ranch from a totally new angle. And after spotting only a few different bucks by late morning, we had to cover some ground and make something happen. About an hour later, we peeked over a small ridge and found Kelly's buck.
We've got a monster, about 200 yards. I don't know, he looks like he's got quite a few points. 7 or 6 or something, but heavy wide. About 200 yards. Just gonna slip up here, get up on a little bit higher point. And Kelly's gonna drill him, right?
I hope so, yeah. I think so.
With the big guy's 6 cents tipping him off, it was now or never.
Clear shot there.
Fucking Stay down, you pig. Alright. Yes.
What do you think?
Finally.
We'll gather up our stuff here and go down and see what Kelly's got here. I think it kind of makes up for that muzzleloader mess that we had earlier. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think it'll be good.
Let's go check them out. Yeah, he's nice. Yikes.
Makes all the walking worthwhile, that's for sure.
Yeah, put a few miles on, yeah.
Yeah. We'll get them quartered up and caped out, throw them on the packs, and make the 2-mile trek back to the truck, and that'll be her.
What's the deal, Jake?
My dad's a bad shot.
What was that?
My dad's a bad shot.
Nice.
Next week on the Canadian Guide Life.
Next week, we're dusting off the bows and we're heading out on probably the luckiest week of bear hunting.